Welcome guys, we are the Dudes of Cinema. I'm Scott.
I'm Cody.
Today we are going to be reviewing The Magnificent Seven, directed by Antoine Fuqua. Stars Denzel Washington, Chris Pratt, Ethan Hawke, Vincent D'Onofrio, and many, many more. It's a Western.
Awesome people.
Hell yeah. It's a Western by Antoine Fuqua. He's done many action movies before, but this is kind of outside of his realm with the Western and this time region, you know. He hasn't done a movie like this. He's usually used to doing modern, action movies, stuff like that. Cody, what'd you like about this film?
Honestly, I like Westerns, I don't have any problem with them. Like Django Unchained, for example, by Tarantino is one of my favorite Westerns. I really like this movie a lot. I mean,
surprised me.
It's a good action movie. Like it's a fun.
It knows what it is.
Yeah, it knows what it is exactly, and it's a really fun time. I mean, there was great performances all around the board. Denzel Washington was great in this.
Awesome.
Him and Antoine Fuqua have worked together a lot in the past. Ethan Hawke was great in this movie. Chris
Pratt
was
really
good. He was
yeah.
really funny. Vincent D'Onofrio. I mean, just all of them. All of those big
even
names.
Even the names that you don't even know very well.
Yeah, like Haley Bennett, Peter Sarsgaard. They also did well.
The lady who technically in the trailer, if you saw it, she hires the Denzel Washington. They recruit yada yada yada. But the lady who recruited him, Haley Bennett,
yeah.
she was actually really
yeah,
good.
you could really get by why she was trying to recruit all these.
Yeah, it was definitely buyable. You weren't just like, oh, that's totally cheesy and cliche.
Yeah,
it was actually buyable. The first 10 minutes, it really sets a good tone for the movie.
It really does. It sets it up to be this intense atmosphere, and it was for the most part it was really intense, especially towards the end of that final battle. It was really good. Denzel Washington did good. All of them did good.
All of them did well.
Great chemistry.
Yeah,
too.
The chemistry between all of them was well. When you're trying to get somewhere, a lot of people are traveling together, there's going to be a lot of downtime in that.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of conversations, a lot of character development,
and the dialogue.
And the dialogue between all of them. There's different side conversations. There's a lot of subplots kind of in this movie sometimes, but it works.
A lot of the subplots are basically just the history or the backstory to each of the characters. Not all of them get as much depth as others. The main focus in this movie is Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt. Those are the two main characters, and Ethan Hawke. He plays a pretty prominent role in the movie too, but I wouldn't call him one of the main characters. Like I said, all the chemistry between them was good. The story was contained, it wasn't all over the place. The character development that was needed to get you behind these characters, it was there, and like Scott said earlier, the reason for why all of them are doing this in the first place makes sense. In our eyes, they set it up in the beginning of the movie, and you realize okay. Peter Sarsgaard, he's a dick, his villain is he's a dick, he really is, he's an asshole.
And a lot of the reasons that a lot of this stuff is actually buyable is from great directing by Antoine Fuqua. Every shot, every transitional shot, is shot beautifully. He's a very clean, good director.
The visuals are definitely
he's not known for making super over the top big films. I guess
Avengers or anything.
Yeah, ones that he does with the interesting story he kind of does.
They're
with
more
a lot of his movies. Yeah, but it works though. I really like him. When I see an Antoine Fuqua movie, I'm all right, I'm gonna go have a good time.
Antoine Fuqua's style is it's very I want to say it's simple yet elegant.
Clean cut.
It's not too flashy, but the shots are really nice. There's definitely some beautiful shots in this movie, and he did a really good job, as well as the score. The score was fantastic.
Find a late James Horner.
Yeah, Scott was saying I guess that was his last performance.
This is James Horner's last score ever.
His last score
since he recently died.
Yeah, and the score was honestly it was riveting in some parts. The music helped really add to that intensity. I know it seems we're raving on about this movie, but it's not a perfect movie.
There are some cons.
It did kind of slow down a little bit.
After the first 10 minutes, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I can't really think of anything that I would really cut out, but because it all kind of served purpose to the story.
The movie is 2 hours 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so.
it is 2 hours 10 minutes, and it did kind of slow down a little bit before that final battle at the end. Peter Sarsgaard, his acting was good.
He's a good this is the same problem I kind of not even that I had with him in Green Lantern, but he's just so freaking in this movie he's very one-dimensional.
He is very one-dimensional.
He just wants land. That's what his villain is. He's just all consumed about the land.
Yeah.
We never get any more depth stuff with him. I didn't really care about his villain. It didn't really intimidate me.
He was definitely a dick, and he definitely didn't really care. He didn't really have much regard for life. And
I just didn't buy it.
Yeah, I didn't it wasn't really that. It wasn't really that intimidating.
Riveting.
I feel he was just there because it was something needed for the Magnificent Seven to come together and take this person on. Like Scott said, he was pretty much nailed it. He was one dimensional. They tried to kind of do something with him, But like that's all I'm gonna say. I mean, in that it was cool. Like, it worked, you know, for what they were going for, and the characters that they like did that between. Like, it worked. In the end, his character was very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Like he just had like he was just an evil guy who wanted land, and that was pretty much it. Like it was just like, oh, I'm a bad guy. I'm here to shoot people and look menacing, and like so that was kind of like a letdown for me. And there was definitely some cliche moments in this movie. I mean, it didn't really take away from like, you know,
it's not that big of a deal.
yeah,
you know,
like it didn't take away from my enjoyment, but there was definitely moments that you saw coming, and there's definitely moments that you don't see coming. Like,
the movie, it's predictable in parts, but it also surprises you. You know,
does.
it's some parts you're gonna be like, oh, this is gonna happen or that's gonna happen, but in some parts you're gonna be like, oh wow, like
yeah,
that
like
was
they
actually
definitely took some
decent,
left
you know?
turns that we weren't expecting. Like, it was good. Like I was just like, holy
but
shit.
as far as the movie goes, like there's not that many cons.
There's not. Yeah, there's really not. Like,
There's not.
It's
There's just like the pacing sometimes, and then the villain, and then just some of the cliche moments. But that's it.
Scott said earlier, like he was right. It's a good overall like Western movie. You know,
is.
like it's.
I don't like westerns.
Yeah,
I
Scott doesn't
don't.
like westerns.
I fucking hate them.
Yeah.
I fell asleep during Django Unchained, bro. The first time I watched it, but then like I watched it again on Netflix, and I was like, oh, this movie's actually really sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like westerns, and I was the one like who was really wanting to see this movie, and I'm glad I went and saw it because I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, like it knows what it is, and
It
like
does.
that's why I think it is good. Like it definitely has those moments of levity, but it definitely has those moments of impact too. You know,
Yeah.
the tone isn't like too all over the place. There was definitely some parts where they were going for like this deep moment that I was gonna get into, and then it kind of just ended with like a comedic moment. Like that I think they could have stretched out those emotional scenes like a little bit longer. It only happened like once, I think, and like that I can remember, that I can vividly remember.
And maybe the movie didn't do it just because it knew what it was. You know,
Yeah,
maybe they just
yeah.
didn't want to go down that path.
Yeah, they didn't
want
want to get. Yeah, they didn't want
They
to
want
get
to
too
stay
straight.
true. So it kind of makes
Exactly.
sense. Overall, Cody, like, what would you give this movie? Like,
Overall, honestly, like it's a good time. I really recommend you go and see it. I'm gonna give this movie a solid 8.1 out of 10.
8.1?
What
Okay.
about you?
I'm right by you. I'm right at like an 8.
All right, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Because
Alright,
like
cool,
I
yeah.
like it. You know, I don't like westerns, so this movie definitely surprised me.
Yeah, and then for me, I do like westerns, and it's just a great addition to like westerns. Like it's a very good action movie.
It
It's
is.
very fun.
It really is.
Well, guys, that's our review of The Magnificent Seven. Let us know what you guys thought of it down in the comments below. Throw us a like and subscribe, and with that,
We are the Dudes of Cinema.